Nitro. Try to stop my praise. You can get it too. Devil in my way.
Welcome back to the Dr. Nahshon Nix Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nahshon Nix. I want to encourage you to tap in, tune in, and lean in to the show because you don't want to miss 1 second. With me on today, I call him Pastor, but he asked me to call him Lavelle. I got Pastor Lavelle, Pastor LA. Welcome to the Dr. Nahshon Nix Show.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank
Yes.
you.
We do want to talk business, but
Okay.
before we go into business, can you tell our listening and viewing audience just a little bit about yourself? Who is Pastor LA?
Well, my name's Lavelle Thomas. I grew up in Jacksonville. I'm a native of Jacksonville.
Duval.
Which is hard to say. Some people are from, are interjected from other places, but I'm straight out of Duval. I've been here for the last 60 years. While I've been here, I've retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office after 25 years.
Thank you for your service.
And 8 days. The last 8 days were the roughest. Then I also transitioned from from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to Duval County Schools. So I took about 4 months off. Then I retired in March of 2014. In July of 2014, I took a job with Duval County School Police, where I was at one of the high schools for 4 years. While at the high school, I learned a lot from the kids. Kids learned a lot from me. Wound up taking sergeant's test, got promoted to sergeant in 2018, and did another 7 years after that. And I retired just past January 17th, 2025. So I did 10 years, about 6 months there. Gave me a total of about 36 years as a law enforcement officer. During that time, I transitioned, my wife and I transitioned to being business owners of a security company here in Jacksonville.
So 36 years. You said you've been here for 60 years. You don't look 60 years of age.
Well, I appreciate that.
So obviously the Lord has been good to you.
Amen. Amen.
And so you have a minimum of 36 years of law enforcement, and even with law enforcement, still provide security.
Yes.
Safety and security, I believe, is protect and serve.
Absolutely.
Is a part of the mission. And tell me, what is the name of your business?
Arms Reach Security and Training, LLC.
Arms Reach Security. And I'm just curious, as a man of God, is there any biblical reference to that?
Yes. So when we started looking at what type of business we were going to do, my wife and I prayed to God, give me a sign on what I am supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did he give me a sign in reference to security, he's like, hey, you've been in this for 30 some odd years. You know this field.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only did he give me the path I need to take, he gave me scripture behind it to answer that question, Isaiah 59:1.
Which means
God's hands are not too short that he can't save us, and his ears are not deaf that he can't hear our cry.
I love it. I love it. And with Arms Reach, and with your wife, as far as having the courage to step out and launch the business, tell me about that process, just getting started, because sometimes the first step is the hardest,
right?
When it comes to actually getting a business off the ground. So what was like the deciding factor? Like, oh, we're going to do this.
So after being prophesied over twice
Mm-hmm.
in reference to security,
Mm-hmm.
we
So hold on a second. You didn't call like a 1-800 number to get proprophesied to. Like, tell me about that process.
So
Cleo
that was crazy actually. I picked up our anniversary. We have our anniversary here at Word of Truth Worship Center.
Okay.
Our anniversary is in August, and this particular anniversary, I was assigned to pick up one of the pastors from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Pick them up from the airport, get them to the hotel, go back, pick them up, bring them to the church.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that, took care of my assignment. while he was at the church and he was ministering, he called me up and he said, I don't really know your name. I really don't know your background. He said, but I see security all over your life. He said, I don't just see it here in Jacksonville, but I see it international.
International.
International. And so,
And what's the name of the company?
Arms Reach
Mhm.
Security and Training LLC.
International.
International.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
And so when he prophesied over me and my wife at the time, currently still, when he prophesied over us, he told us about he saw our security business again, not only in Jacksonville but international. And so we that was around 2020, leading into 2021. We know all about 2020 COVID, and so everything was kind of shutting down around that time. So we caught it, but we didn't launch out on it.
Okay.
And so it took another anniversary in 2021. No, I'm sorry, this was 2019 when we first got prophesied over.
Okay.
So in 2020, COVID kicked in and we kind of slowed down. So we didn't do a whole lot with it. In 2021 is when we launched our business in April. But between 2019 and 2020, we got prophesied over again twice about a security business. And so we said, hey, we got to stop being scared to step forward and launch out on this thing. And that's what we did. And you asked the question, did it take a lot to get it started? Of course, we put our monies into it because then we didn't have any money under a business. We took our monies that we were making, her working, I'm working, and we started this business. And so now it's 4 years now, going on 5 that we've been in business.
Now, the way that you describe the pastor and picking them up, that sounds like personal security.
Right.
Is that all that you do? Is it like personal security?
So we not only do we do personal security, dignitary security, we also provide security for businesses. The training aspect of it, how this all got started for us was we wanted to help churches form their own security team, because me being in law enforcement, I know how vital that is. We just heard a couple of days ago, a young man went to a Catholic church house of worship and killed 2 students and wounded 7 to 17 other kids.
Yeah.
So
my heart and prayers go out to everyone out in Minnesota, because you don't know what you don't know, and I don't wish that on anyone. And I do pray that God's peace and comfort continues to cover those families, because that's a process.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can only imagine it being surreal.
Right.
Which is why I see the value in what you do and what you provide, because I look at that as prevention.
Yes, sir.
And as my father would share with me, and I adopted this, which is prefix instead of suffix.
Right.
Meaning if we get it right in the beginning, we don't have to clean it up in the end.
Absolutely.
But when you brought up that incident with Minnesota, I had to kind of interject in that, because that did hit home for me as well.
Right.
And it really hit my heart. So you provide security, you are providing training
as well
for ministries, churches.
Yes. Okay. And like I said, we wanted to provide help churches form their own security team if they didn't have a security team. That means we would go in and do a walk of the grounds to look at the ingress and egress of the church. Also to help the training aspect of it, active shooter drills, we would incorporate that into the training aspect of it. So we would go in, we would simulate certain scenarios that could happen in a church. And then we would take those individuals that say were security in the church, and we would do scenarios with them to show them how to, okay, this is what you want to do if this occurs. This is what you want to do if that occurs. And so we want to see, how would you get your pastor or your bishop or your apostle, whoever is the overseer of the church, how would you get them out of the church during that chaotic situation? And so those are some of the things that we we started to do when we formed our business.
All right. And now, so once again, for those who are watching, are you landlocked, meaning that your business and your security training is only based in Jacksonville, or are you able to work internationally or nationally throughout the country?
Yes, sir, I am.
So if a church is watching now, you can provide that training in that city and state. If a school is watching now, you'll be able to provide training in that city or state.
Absolutely, yes.
And then you mentioned businesses. For example, can you give an example of why a business would need to hire a security company versus calling the police if somebody breaks into their store?
Well, one of my companies that I oversee is Sharks Coating.
Okay.
And so Sharks Coating, they have their trailers and their vehicles on site overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a break-in. They had a individual or a couple of individuals cut the gate line, go through the gate, broken some vehicles. Really, I feel they were juveniles, because if they would have known what was in those trailers, that would have been a different story. But that alone, he had reached out to a friend of mine who didn't have a security company but had an investigation company. So he didn't do security. He said, "Hey, I don't do security, but I know a guy." And so he reached out to me. I went out and made contact with the owner, walked the grounds with the owner, told him what I could do for him and what I would do for him. And on the spot, he hired me. That was on a Thursday. He asked me, "Hey, can you guys start on a Monday?" I said, "Absolutely, we can." He called me over that weekend and said, "Hey, can you start tomorrow?" which was a Sunday. And of course, I put somebody in place, and we've been there almost 2 years now.
Awesome. And like I said, from a prevention perspective, you mentioned businesses, you mentioned schools, churches, as well as opportunities to be able to duplicate this in other places.
Yes.
How do people reach you?
They can reach me at area code 904-307-7793.
All right. Is there any email address that they can reach you on as well?
Absolutely. My email address is armsreach, ARMSREACH 591 @gmail.com.
If you could say that one more time.
That's armsreach, ARMSREACH 591 @gmail.com.
Awesome. And then what would make your business so competitive compared to other companies that offer the same type of product or service?
What makes my business competitive?
Yes.
Compared to other companies?
Yes.
I provide the security I provide for you. My guys are not only military vets, they're also either retired police officers or current police officers that work for me that happen to have their state D license or their state D license. And so I work folks that are like-minded like me, that don't mind getting up every morning and going to work, don't mind getting up every morning and knowing that the value of a dollar is to get up and go to work and make it. So that's why I feel my company is maybe a little bit more competitive than some other companies. Just hire out anybody.
Man, thank you for looking out for our veterans as well, providing
Yes,
opportunities to be able to continue employment.
Right.
And I do know that there's a high level of dignity that you bring, and expectations as well. And now, is there anything that you would like to share with our listening and viewing audience that I haven't asked you just yet?
Just, not only, I talked about me a little bit in my company, but, my wife is part of this company also. And then, we're talking about when we hire vets and retired police officers and whatnot. My wife is a retired vet. She was in the Navy for 20 years, and she retired out of the military. And so we, like you said, we both like hiring people like-minded like ourselves. She handles the books and whatnot, and I do the hiring and firing of individuals. But we try to run a great company. We try to be stand-up people. I don't know. That's about it for me.
All right. And I noticed I know the business's name, Arms Reach
Yes.
Security. And you did talk about services pertaining to training.
Yes.
All right. Is there any other obviously training and security? Is there anything else that your business offers that I just haven't actually shared?
No, like I said, we do individual, we do dignitary protection services. We do business security, and then the training aspect of it, like I said. We also have integrated into our business concealed weapon classes.
Okay.
And I know here in the state of Florida, they say you don't need your concealed permit, but what happens when you travel out of town with your weapon on you, that you get pulled over by the police and you have a weapon in your car but no concealed carry, but that state requires you to have a concealed carry. Guess what happens? Your weapon gets taken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And now you got to fight through the court system to get your weapon back.
All right. And thank you for clarifying that, because I was curious with Arms Reach, like you're gonna do some kung fu to protect folks, or do you he catch bullets with his teeth? but so you do have armed security.
Yes,
It's
we
not just
Right.
like a unarmed bodyguard per se.
Right. And so we have contracts, all my contracts right now that we oversee, they're all armed. Every contract that we have is an armed contract. We do. We also will provide you unarmed security if that's what you want. So it's depending on the client. If the client says, "Hey, I want security at my business, but I don't want armed security. I just want someone in there unarmed, 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday," we'll provide that for you.
Okay.
It's not that we won't provide it. We absolutely will provide that for you.
All right. And then I'm going to shift back to like the faith aspect of it.
Mhm.
Obviously, you got to have faith to make that first step.
Absolutely.
What role has faith played in sustaining your business? Like, you know what? I've had enough with this. I'm done with this. I'm ready to sell it. Or we got to do some succession planning. I'm ready to get out of here. Like, what has kept you grounded in what you're doing?
Being humble, number one, and knowing that God didn't put you in this position for you to just say, "I'm done with it," because the faith you have to have not only in God, you got to have that faith in individuals as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got to know that Nahshon Nix, who just hired me for this business, is going to do right by the company, and the company is going to do right by Nahshon Nix. Makes sense? So being humble and having that faith in God to know that God's not going to put any more weight on you than you can bear,
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to be successful no matter how things come at you, what angle they come from, as long as you understand that the job you're doing is not only for you, but for the Lord, because one water, one plants, and God gets the increase, right? And I say all that to say this: if once you plant us on your property, you're going to see the manifestation of how we work, how friendly we are. Because, like I said, I hire people like-minded as myself, and I feel I'm a friendly person. I feel that I'm going to give you 100%, and so that person I put on your property, they're going to give you 100%.
You know what? And I appreciate you sharing the role of faith and trust. It goes both ways, from not just in God, but also in the people that you're working with.
Right.
And we have hired Arms Reach Security as well.
Yes, you have.
With Team Nitro MMA,
Yes, you have.
MMA right here in Jacksonville. And what I appreciate you all coming out, because I work with children.
Right.
And I need children, which is some of our most vulnerable citizens,
Yes.
going back to Minnesota.
Yes.
I appreciate the fact that I knew that every child was going to be safe. The grandmothers that were getting out of their vehicles to see their grandchildren participate in the
Right.
exhibition, they were going to feel safe.
Right.
The family's going to feel safe.
Right.
I didn't have to think like, man, I wonder if they're going to be here on time. Are they going to be here? Are they going to be in position?
Right.
It was almost like a peace of mind. Not saying that I can't protect what I can protect,
Right.
but I know I can't be everywhere
Everywhere.
for everybody.
Absolutely.
So I think that the value that you bring to businesses is that peace of mind that, you know what, not just for my employees, but also for my customers.
Right.
And knowing that you have a person present
Right.
that has these competencies and qualifications
Yes.
and a lived experience
Right.
and being able to hopefully de-escalate
Absolutely.
as well.
Right.
So have you ever had to de-escalate a situation as with arm's reach?
A couple of times.
Mhm.
A couple of times. One of my businesses out at the beach, we had a individual. It's a jewelry store that I work out at the beach, and we had a couple individuals come in. Um, the homeless population out at the beach is kind of growing.
Mhm.
So we've had a couple individuals come inside the jewelry store and cause a scene, and it kind of scares the young ladies that are in the jewelry store. But I don't walk up to them in a loud voice. If they're up at 10, I'm not at 10.
Mhm.
Because what happens is if we're both screaming at each other, you can't understand what I'm saying. So when I step to you with this voice that you hear right now. Hey, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Why are we, and then they kind of stop and take a look at me like, okay, who are you? Once I got that eye-to-eye contact with them, at that point, I can kind of walk them toward that door because we're having that conversation. And that's happened to me a couple times, believe it or not. And the young ladies that I work with don't understand, how did he do that? How did he get this person that was on 10 just 30 seconds ago to be at a calm state and walk out the door? And so you can't match their energy in a confrontation, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
You can't go in on 10 if they're 10.
Mhm.
Somebody's got to be level-headed in the situation. No matter how chaotic it looks around you, somebody in that chaos has to be the calm one. And so that has worked for me a couple times. Thank God.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I'm gonna start calling you Pastor Lavelle Thomas Bruce Leroy.
No.
The art of fighting without fighting.
No, the art of fighting. I just learned that through being a police officer. You can't, as a police officer, you can't run into a situation where it's at 100 and you go in at 100.
Mm.
Somebody's gonna get hurt, whether it's you or me. One of us gonna get hurt because I don't have any understanding and you don't have any understanding. But if I can come in with understanding, knowing that I'm gonna pray to God that I'm able to talk you off this ledge, that you're gonna listen to me.
Mhm.
Because if that, like I said, one time I can get your undivided attention, situation might change. I'm not the biggest guy.
Mhm.
My wife calls me 6'5". He calls me 6'5".
Okay.
But and I've been on the streets and I've worked in a lot of specialized units.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm not the biggest guy, but when you have a supervisor that comes to you and say, hey, Laval, I need you to go over there and handle that for me. Because it's a chaotic situation. But he knew my temper, he knew my mindset, he knew how I was, that I could walk into that and calm it down. I've had individuals at the high school where these kids are fighting, carrying on, and I walk in, break it up, do whatever I'm doing. I've had students come to my office and say, Boss Thomas, I don't know how you did that, man. It was just crazy, and you just went in so calm and did this and did that. Next thing you know, it was all gone because you can't go in on 10.
Hmm.
I wake up and see these officers on the street. Now the situations happen, and of course they call me. Well, man, you saw that on television. What do you think should have happened? You can't Monday morning quarterback police work because it happens like that. Being in some of the units I was in, you're having a conversation with an individual, and all of a sudden, that quick, it goes sideways. Because the mindset of a person, you don't know the mindset of a person.
Right, correct. And one of the scriptures that popped in my head while you were talking is, I know why your business is blessed, because the book says, blessed are the peacemakers.
Yeah.
But they shall be called the sons of God.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you sharing your values and exercising your values, your faith, your belief, your obedience to the prophetic call of launching this Arms Reach business. I do want to give you opportunity for any final words or last words to our listening and viewing audience. How can they contact you? And then the type of services that you provide.
Again, you can reach me at area code 904-307-7793. My email address is armsreach591@gmail.com. We provide dignitary protection services. We provide security for business protection. We also do concealed weapon classes and active shooter training for churches, businesses, whatever your need is, we'll provide it for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
The Dr. Nahshon Nick Show.
My first time on the show.
Yes, and it won't be your last time because as issues arise, I would like to be able to come back in and see how we can unpack it. Once again, I look at this as prefix instead of suffix. It's easier to get it right at the beginning than trying to clean it up at the end. And once again, this is an individual of integrity, of honor, that I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to hear firsthand what his service provides. He's not landlocked to just Jacksonville and Duval, but they're international, so make sure you reach out to him. Once again, we're all in this together. Thank you for tapping in, tuning in, and leaning in. I'm your host, Dr. Nahshon Nix. I love you, and God bless you.